Got Carla's quilt up here on the quilting bed. Like I've said before, I only want to make a video that has purpose, so I'm only going to make a video and add a tip to it. So every video will have a tip and an idea to share. And let's talk about what's going on with Carla's quilt. First of all, there's an arrow down below. When you hit that, it takes you to another video of this exact same quilt being stitched out. So you may want to follow some of those with other tips that are here. I'm getting ready to base the very last part of Carla's quilt right here. Beautifully done up in this section. She's got some lovely borders. Now, if you take a little peek, I do have some wavy sections, and I've been asked before, what do you do with the wavy border? So I thought, you know what, let's take just a minute and demonstrate something that's going to happen when I do have a wavy border. One is, how did that happen? Someone says, what do you mean a wavy border? When you measure for your borders, my friends, what you want to do is measure from the inside of the quilt somewhere, someplace up in the center, like 3 different areas. Measure what that's going to be, add those together, multiply it, add them together, divide by 3, get my math concepts correct here, divide that by 3, and that's going to be the measure you're going to want for your border. So in this case, you're going to want to do that with the light colored border and cut it off. Then you're going to want to pin in the center on the end, stitch it along. You're going to do it with the next border, the next border, the next border. All of them are going to be measured individually and attached in that same manner so that they fit perfectly within the parameters of the quilt. What you don't want to do is just have yourself some border and you start stitching along, and when you get down here you got a big old piece and you whack that off. No, 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 because what happens is the feed dogs on your sewing machine are not going to feed equally on the bottom as they are on the top. When you have a walking foot, that does help, but it's not going to guarantee, and then in the end you can end up with this wavy border like we have right here. So now what am I going to, that's how you're going to handle on your end. What happens when I get a wavy border like this? Ultimately, what would be great is if these borders were taken off and redone, but what's going to happen is, first of all, I'm going to kind of smooth it down like this. That's going to help me to be able to get all the bulk distributed appropriately, one edge to the next, across this quilt. Also, the stitching that I do to baste it down will take up some of that bulk, which is what I'm going to want to have happen. I'm going to reduce the bulk as much as I can by kind of gathering it into the basting that I'm putting along the edge, and then the stitching that I'm doing on here, the density will be able to eat up some of the bulk of the fabric that's right here. So stay tuned. I'll make another video afterward. You'll have to watch them in the opposite order, but I'll make another video afterward to show you how I have taken up a lot of the bulk right there. I wish I could splice these together, but that's not in my wheelhouse. So you're just going to have to watch the next video to see how that turned out.